Hello, hey everyone, my name is Paul Lind and I'm here to present about political parties and how they're the cause of America's divide. So, how divided is America? Well, to start, I believe the United States is the most divided it has been since the Civil War in terms of politics. Protesters have developed more of an us versus them mentality, and it's like if you don't have similar ideals as us, you're the problem. And this goes of whether you're a fascist or like a snowflake for having certain ideals. Now, following that is we have the rise of more radical beliefs. So echo chambers have become a more prevalent thing online, as well as in schools with like clubs where people with more regular beliefs meet up with people with more radical beliefs, and they sort of get ideas thrown around and slowly builds up more radical ideals. And this also follows the idea that people just aren't very educated on these topics, so they just take whatever they can. And that's why when I'm in a place where I don't know what I'm talking about fully, I always acknowledge that, hey, I'm not the most knowledgeable on the topic, but I still give my opinion. So now, protests have been a part of the U.S. since we became a country, before the Civil War with the British. Now, I believe that protests in the U.S. have become more violent in around the decade of like 2000, 2010-ish, around that area, and up to now. Following that, we have reports of protesters striking each other, of spitting on one another, and just increasing tensions between both parties. Acts of violence don't heal this divide, and it only just makes it worse. And the problem is the small minority that have the largest voice, and they aren't representative of both parties. Now, some recent protests and some pictures we have this picture from Vice News, and it depicts a man wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and he was spit on at a leftist rally. Now, right after this, people did come up to him and say like, hey, that's not all right, like he shouldn't have done that. But just that like tension where somebody would spit on him is so despicable. Following that, we have the Charlottesville, South Carolina, like protest/riot, and that one was just a huge debacle. There was many injured, and just sort of a scary time for America. And lastly, this just depicts protesters like sort of burning the US flag and just sort of, I think in that sense, it's like people are stepping away from their parties and now they're attacking the US because of said parties. Now, lastly, I believe the only remedy for this crisis is to develop an understanding for one another. If we spend our lives with this outdated mentality that whoever doesn't have the same ideals as us is the problem, we will never go anywhere. Instead of voting on parties because that's who you affiliate with, vote on problems that are important to you. And yeah, that's not necessarily going to be the best for everyone, but if you vote according to what you believe is right, I would say you do your civic duty as an American. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.